Uh, Good morning, everyone. Of course, here it is good morning. For you, it is good afternoon. You see, welcome to this retreat, and it is a joy also to be with you people. You see how far we have reached with this pandemic situation. But then our technology helps us sometimes as to how to go about. So those who are in Sri Lanka, Marina, and those who are in India, Lavina, and I do not know whether some of you from Kenya also will be participating in this retreat. So I have structured a bit this retreat such a way that we cannot talk more than half an hour in this live, but then we can give the essential points. Then I shall give also some idea of the readings. Some of the texts you have already received, but then some idea and how to go about, because pandemic situation we were always inside, so that the focus was more inside. Now after the pandemic, probably we will have the focus outside. So we have to take care of that. How we can take care of that, we shall see through these 1 week. So the first talk, it is not a talk, it is just an introduction. I shall say how the retreat has been structured. I have put around four paradigms. Paradigm of the Good Shepherd, paradigm of the sower, paradigm of fisherman, and the paradigm of the East, the woman, the East. So with these four paradigms, we work in our mission. We have to have all these four. So we shall go about these paradigms every day. Today I shall give a rough idea about what we are going to do, the point of departure. Then tomorrow we shall see about the religious life, how the religious life demands that we need to have some time for our own retreats, or for some time for our own desert experience. Then we shall go through these four paradigms: shepherd, then the sower, then the fisherman, then the East, woman with the East, and finally we shall end up with our Mother Mary, Mary's role in these four paradigms. So the first talk would be in the gospel. I shall deal with the gospel as such, with the text, each text. Then the second talk would be putting across this idea of the paradigm to our context. So all through we will have some reflections in those terms. When we speak about the paradigm, we also should remember about our holiness. Why this retreat? Why we are going with this retreat? There are several ways for the holiness. The paths presented by the Greek philosophers, they say, know thyself. You should know yourself, what it is, how it is. But then their way of knowing is rational. Then Chinese, they present the dynamics, being sit and forget. Sit and forget, or what we call in Brazilian language, sentar e esquecer. So just sit and forget after the respirations and all. Then the Buddha said, you have to watch the reality, external reality. By knowing the external reality, you know your reality. So this is the Buddha's explanation. Mother Teresa of Calcutta, she said, empty yourself by serving, giving, then you keep yourself empty. In that emptiness, you discover God. And these are all the ways or paths we look for our own sanctity. So with this, what happens? We become conscious. How is our holiness? Which are all the paths we are taking the paths to go about. With this, we can bring about three situations. Three types of listening perhaps is the best way of getting into the sanctity. The first would be listening to the tradition. The second would be listening to our own consciousness. Third would be listening to the reality, what is going on. For example, now with the pandemic situation. So, first, listening to the tradition, it means we have learned so many things from our own parents. We have learned so many things from our own church. Priests, sisters, they have taught us. And when you are all alone, you begin to remember what they have taught you. And you fall back to their words, their affection, you get back. And in that, this is very important to listen. So, this is where the place of the retreat comes. Retreat shows us that we have to fall back whenever we read the Bible, whenever we went to the church, whenever we go to our own homes, what we have heard and what we have listened. So, this is the first point. First point, listening to the tradition. Second point would be listening to your own conscience. We also listen. Sometimes when you are all alone, why am I alone? Why have I committed myself to God? How I make my journey all alone? All these questions come in. And you have to, or every religious has to have this thought, listening to your own conscience. Why I am like this? Why this fluctuation takes place within me? How I have to deal with my life? All these issues come about. The second, listening to the conscience. Third would be listening to the reality. Today it is a digital reality, technological reality, and we are in a pandemic situation. India as well as Brazil, both the countries are very bad dealing with this pandemic situation. I know you people are inside, as I'm inside, and we get tired being inside. No touch with the outside world, but then we see through the windows. We see in our own places. So how many people die every day? And what this pandemic situation wants to tell me? See, these issues we get into, and we have to be attuned to this, thinking how my life would be in the future. And this is where the point of departure of this retreat. The first thing, listen to the tradition. Second would be listen to your own conscience. Third would be listen to the reality. What does it speak to you at the moment? That is the first point we are putting across during this retreat. For this, we shall look for 4 sequential paths, 4 stages, or 4 stages of spiritual growth. This is what Scott Peck told this. He says, first road would be the inherited by the parents, spiritual path, least traveled road. And this road shows what? That I have to go further each day. This is first road would be chaotic. When we come about, let's say, 18 years or 20 years, we begin to look for our own way. We join the religious congregation, for example. Why? Some anxiety has come in within our inside, within ourselves. With that anxiety, we look for some ways and means to deal with. Then when you decide at the age of 20 or 18 to join the convent, you are beginning to break up. Break up from your familiar tradition, what your parents said or what others said, you are begin to question. Now at this stage, you would like to take your own path. And at this moment, you experience what we call certain chaos, certain disturbance within yourself. At this stage, the focus, not others. You are in the focus. You think on yourself. You think on your own principles. So how I shall deal with myself, how I shall construct the certain principles for my future, how I should go about, all these things come. This stage, they call it a little bit of chaotic because you are searching for meaning for your own life. I think this is very important, sister. I think this stage, if you do not have this stage, chaotic stage, perhaps we lose our focus and get back to the other chaos. The first thing, you take care of yourself. How was your stage at the age of, let's say, 20 or 18 or a little more? Which are all the disturbances took place in yourself? Which are all the chaotic elements, anxiety that took place in you? This is the first point of departure for your spirituality. Second stage is a formal or institutional. This stage converts the passing from the first to the second one. You experience that chaos. Now I would like to face myself. I don't want to live in this chaos for a long time. So what you do? You look for the institution. You join the convent, or you would like to do enter into the medical or enter into the other civil service, whatever it is. Each individual is looking for something to fulfill and get back to the normal situation. So this is the search takes place at the age of, let's say, 18, 19. You think, I cannot face myself all alone. I would like to join some place, some institution. Joining this institution, I would be able to quieten myself. I can make myself calm. So this is the way the society functions. So first stage would be chaotic or antisocial because focus is on yourself. You come to a realization, no, I cannot live with this. I have to deal with others. So to go away from this chaotic state, you join the institution. or religious congregation. Whether you are in the Benedictines of the Sisters of the Divine Providence. So you join there in order to fulfill all these chaotic states. And this is the way you work. You plan out, deal with the people, working for the mission, with the charism. All these things go very well, pretty well. This is the way you deal with. Then what happens? You reach a certain stage. Let's say 40, 50 years, whatever it is, little early or little after, you come to a stage, a skeptical stage, that is called skeptical stage or individual stage. This is where the search begins. In this stage, what happens? You realize now you don't require any more rules and regulations. You don't require any more institution. You come to a stage, now I can guide myself. I can orient myself. I don't want any advice from the other. Because you have reached a spiritual maturity. So you must be knowing some of the sisters, your sisters. Some of you are there in let's say, Nova Venice or in Curitiba or Hosabetu. You can feel, looking at the nature, you feel that no, I can guide myself now. I don't want any rule and regulation. I follow by the fact that I have reached the maturity. I can do on my own whatever I want. So this is the third stage we experience. This is very important. For example, what Jesus does. Jesus, at the age of 29, 30, he separates himself from the society. He goes to the desert and thinks, no, I can guide myself now. I don't want the society. I can put across my own idea. So this is the point of departure. I shall deal with how Jesus builds up this later on. But then we also do the same. Now I don't want any superior. Presence of the superior also doesn't make much difference. I can go on my own. I think this is the point. The third stage comes in. So the first stage is a chaotic. Second stage, to go away from the chaotic life, you enter into the institution. In our case, as a religious, we join the religious congregation. And the third stage is a skeptical or individual. You come to a maturity, spiritual maturity, and you think, I don't need any more institution. I can orient myself. So this stage has come in, and where some of the people abandon completely religious life. Some of the people go away to the forest, whatever it is, because they think that I can orient myself. So this is the third stage. Then we come to the fourth stage, mystical, communion. I think this is the stage belongs to the religious. Fourth stage is a mystical or feeling the communion with all the people around. And in this stage, people continue to seek. They find out. They are very happy with the minimum. I don't want many things. One begins to save or comprehend the mystery, how God is mystery. So, slowly the person begins to feel the mystery. At this stage, the person begins to think, so far I was okay. Now I feel in the presence of the Lord. And at this stage, what happens? People come back to the tradition. I told you the third stage, person thinks, I don't want any institution. When he comes to the mystical stage, which is in terms of age, little late, they come and they think, now I come back, fall back to the institution. So some of the sisters, some of the priests, you can see, when they reach a certain stage of their life, they are so tranquil and they are perfectly okay with themselves. And this is the stage, is a mystical stage some of our priests, saints and all have reached. At this point, they become theologists and they become anthropologists. Because at this stage, they know themselves well. At the same time, they know the movement of God well. So, my dear sisters, I put around 4 points. And to get back to these 4 points, first, the point of departure was listen to the tradition, whatever your parents and church said. Second, listen to your own conscience. And the third, listen to the reality, observe the reality outside. This is the point of departure. Then you analyze these 4 processual stages. First to be chaotic, then to join the institutional stage. The third, individual skeptical stage. And the fourth, mystical and communal stage. These 4 stages put you in the right track as to how to go about. So this is the point of departure for the retreat. And I have given a small text you have received, I believe. And there are some personal readings, some texts, personal readings, such as Psalms. Probably you can take the Psalm 138, which connects you to the dimension of divine and the dimension of human. So you begin to try to reflect in this area today. How is my search? How I can prepare myself for this retreat? And how can myself prepare to have this experience of God through the 4 paradigms of this retreat through which we will proceed. So this is the theme would be the fraternal life and spirituality of community. So how we can reach to the spiritual communion through these 4 paradigms. Because these 4 paradigms puts you in touch with the real source, which is Bible, and these 4 paradigms, being in touch with the Bible, puts you into the reality. So please read those proposals which I have put across. Then we shall see in the afternoon, it means in the evening for you, no? For me it is around 11:30. We shall have a second talk in the putting ourselves in the hands of God. Okay, have nice reflections. God bless you, and we shall try to journey together. Any personal talk and all we shall have through WhatsApp. We can see each other and talk. That would be a better choice. We shall put ourselves. You have now that common WhatsApp. So afterwards, you can get my number and put into the personal WhatsApp, and we can have chat. We shall mark a day or time. Accordingly, we shall do. Okay? God bless you, and we shall journey together. Let us pray for each other also.